Let's do another example. Again, there's no right or wrong way to draw this. When I look at this part, I see 4 quadrants that are the same. So the strategy I'm going to use is draw one quadrant and then use polar array to complete the drawing. To create that quadrant, I need to start with 2 arcs. This one. This arc has a radius that is half of 122, or 61. This arc has a radius that is half of 154, or 77. Choose arc. There are lots of ways to create the arc. I'm going to choose center start angle. Center of the arc. I'm going to use relative coordinates at 61, 0, create my start point, and then 90 degrees as the angle. I could simply create my other arc, but we know that this one has a radius of 61. The next arc we're looking for has a radius of 77. The difference between those two is 16. So I can use offset through a distance of 16. To create my other arc. I can verify that it has a radius of 77 and that I did my math correctly. Again, this is not a right way or a wrong way, just the way I chose to do it. Next, I look at my geometry and I'm going to draw in 2 lines associated with these edges. I know that these lines, this line, is 15 degrees from horizontal, and I know that this line is 75 degrees from horizontal. I don't really care how long the line is. We'll make it 100 at an angle of 15. I'll draw my other line. Length of 100, angle 75. Note that I could have just as easily used the rotate command to rotate this line and create this line. Now I'm going to use the trim command. I need to remove the outer portions of my outside arc and the inner portion of my inside arc. At this point, I can also remove the portions of my construction line that I don't need. Next, we'll deal with the holes. We know they have a diameter of 12. We know that this hole is 30 degrees off of horizontal, and this hole is 60 degrees off of horizontal. So I'll draw a circle, diameter 12, on the endpoint, and then I will rotate that circle about the center point of one of my arcs by an angle of 30 degrees. I'll do it again to create my other circle. Again, it's very possible that you see a different way of creating that circle. Now I'm going to create the inner cog. We need another arc, this time of radius 25. Next, I'm going to create lines to create this little cutout. I know that both of these lines are oriented at 45 degrees to horizontal. So I'm going to move to my polar tracking, make sure I'm tracking at 45-degree angles. Draw a line from the center at 45 degrees. The length really doesn't matter, just needs to be long enough. Now that I have that line, I'm going to offset it to create the sides of this cutout. We know that this cutout is 12 units wide. So I'm going to offset by 6 units to this side and to this side. And I think I'm done with this construction line now. Next, I'm going to remove the portion of the arc that lies between those lines with a trim. Now I'm going to draw a line between the endpoints of those arcs that are left. I know that my cutout is 6 units deep, so I'm going to offset that line by 6 units. And then I'm going to trim to clean up. Lastly, I'll delete this line. Now I've drawn one quadrant. It's time to use polar array. Select the objects. I want everything I've drawn so far. Specify the center point of the array, would be the center point of all my arcs. And I want to repeat this 4 times around a 360-degree circle. And now we have our geometry.